Now we get to lighten our hearts a little bit more because we're going to listen to this fat androgynous donut man from CNN, Brian Stelter, come down, it's like an elephant burial ground, and try to just, I don't know, save face over his friend Chris Cuomo. Of course, he didn't get as many kisses on the cheek from Cuomo as Don Lemon did. So I think that maybe this is actually something that he's happy about. He's upset. He was always jealous that Don Lemon would get all of the kisses on the cheek from Cuomo and all the hugs and all the I love yous. Meanwhile, Stelter's just there, like peeking behind. Like you can, whenever Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo would embrace and hug and make out and stuff like that, from behind a lamppost or something like that, you would always see Brian Stelter watching them envious. He'd be like this. Hold on. He'd be just peeking out. He'd just be scoring. He'd just be mad. I want those kisses. Well, guess what? If I can't have you, nobody can have you, Chris. Because he's gone. And now Brian has to go out there and talk about how the CNN is going through some introspection now. How can we become better? How can we become better? You know? Let's listen to what he said. This is 6.5 minutes long. I watched it on my own. I'm not going to put you through this, but maybe a couple of minutes. So let's listen to Brian Stelter, who, of course, is voiced over by Ricky Lake.
You know the biggest media story this weekend. It's the firing of Chris Cuomo from this network, CNN. Now, I've been working the phones.
Yeah, no, it's just real quick. It's the biggest story concerning the media this weekend. There's lots of more important things going on, you perfect oval of a man.
Ever since this was announced yesterday evening. Frankly, I've been on the phone until the last 5 minutes here getting information about what happened. And
he's working the phones. He's just so diligent. This is the real culture at CNN. Work constantly.
Where CNN goes from here. So I'd like to start, now that you know the news about Cuomo's firing, with a timeline of how it came to this point. Why was Chris Cuomo fired now, after CNN management supported him all year long?
Well, the firing was because of a sexual assault accusation. I guess that was credible, because he was just suspended up until this weekend.
That's the key question I've been pursuing as a media reporter for the past, 18 hours or so. So here are the answers I have so far. Let's take a look at the day-by-day timeline this week to catch you up. On Monday,
get you up. Let me get you up. Yeah. Okay. I gotta tune into reliable sources tonight to get it all caught up with my Chris Cuomo timelines, my day by day. Oh my gosh. So he's out there. And he's talking about this level of coziness here. You'll say
the New York Attorney General's office released that document dump. It landed with a thud. There was a lot to read. Some of it damning. Some of it about Chris. Now, Cuomo's view is that he never engaged in opposition research on behalf of his brother Andrew. Cuomo says he's never smeared anyone. He never went after any of his brother's accusers. Plus, the Attorney General's office never accused him of that.
Oh.
But the documents, especially the text messages between Cuomo and his brother's aides, showed a level of coziness with the governor's staff that was alarming to many.
Oh, it was alarming. Like I said, this is horse shit. This is all horse shit. And I'm no fan or friend of Chris Cuomo. And I don't really care about people getting fired. But of course, if you're running around and you're doing whatever and you're harassing people, then yeah, you should get fired. But this whole thing about his brothers is really stupid. Now, you want to talk about level of coziness? The DNC leaks from 2016, that showed not just a level of coziness. It showed that the media worked directly for the Clinton campaign. Directly for them. And in turn, that the Clinton campaign was moonlighting as the DNC itself, because the DNC had been completely bankrupted. They had no money, and the Clintons were the only thing around that could actually raise money. There were still prolific fundraisers there, and their stock was still high because people thought that their girl was going to be in the White House. And there you have it. But this moment of introspection here, that donut boy over here is pretending to have, there was none. There was none. No introspection during 2016, and you know why? Because Brian and his coven, they were busy blaming the Russians and Trump for the leak instead of addressing what was actually inside the leak. This is completely different. It's a level of coziness that one guy had with one blah, 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 blah. There is nothing independent about CNN or any of these billion-dollar news networks. Nothing independent whatsoever. And all their farm teams, their affiliates, and the local levels, they're just as worse. They're just as bad. Most people can look at national and international news and they can look at it with a certain level of skepticism, because anything that is centralized that much, that wants to give everybody the universal truth in any way, shape, or form, it should elicit some skepticism from people. But they have all their farm systems that go down to your local newspaper with all their fellow travelers down there that regurgitate just the same thing that all the mama birds up top are giving them to eat. That's a little bit different. So it's all horse shit. It's all horse shit, but this is just the big leagues of bullshit, I guess. And I liked what Mark Dice did with the whole story. I want to watch that for a couple of minutes too. It really was a great little thing that encapsulated not only just Stelter and his remorseful handling of the whole thing with that other pudgy faced Jim, whatever the hell his name is, but also went into what this coziness and what the real nature of the media is. Here, listen to this.
You broke CNN's heart, Fredo, not to mention journalist ethics, by using your contacts in the industry to try to dig up dirt on the women that your brother, the then governor of New York, had sexually harassed so that they could be smeared. But violating journalist ethics is a standard practice at CNN. It's a requirement. The problem is, you got caught.
I love the mandolin music in the background, like it's The Godfather. Oh boy, let's keep going.
And we have breaking news to report to you right now about CNN anchor Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo, we should point out, has now been terminated here at CNN. That's the latest breaking news about what's happening here at CNN. I want to go to CNN's Brian Stelter.
Look at Brian's face. Very important. I'm ready to report.
Brian, obviously this is huge news, not only inside CNN, but for this industry. What can you tell us?
Yes, Chris Cuomo, one of the most popular anchors at CNN, one of the best-known names in television news, violated journalistic ethics and norms, not once or twice, but many times.
I'm gonna miss Fredo. Remember when he said that calling the self-described journalists at CNN fake news was just as bad as the N-word?
Yeah.
I see being called fake news as the equivalent of the N-word for journalists.
Fake news is the worst thing that you can call a journalist. It's like an ethnic disparagement. You know, we all have these ugly words for people.
Even the bagel smearer, Allison Camerata, couldn't get behind that. Oh, well, Chris, it's not ethnic, but oh boy. Allison was even squirming in her bagel seat.
The one for journalists.
Those were the days. Or when he said that only CNN pundits were allowed to read WikiLeaks documents because they were the media.
Yep.
You and I are strictly forbidden.
Also interesting is, remember, it's illegal to possess these stolen documents. It's different for the media. So everything you learn about this, you're learning from us.
Oh, how many times have we brought that clip up on this? No, it's not illegal. No, it's not illegal. But that is somebody running a front for the intelligence services and the people on the inside who understand how they have to put out all these fires as much as they can in a pivotal election year. He was a fireman. They're all firemen. That's what they do. Some of them start fires that they're on the take, and some other fires they put out or they try.
And who could forget his staged dramatic emergence from his basement quarantine last year after he was diagnosed with COVID, even though we all knew that he was already running around town and harassing anybody who questioned him as to why he wasn't staying at home since he had the virus. Watching him lose his mind over every little thing that President Trump said sure did bring a smile to my face.
I hold rallies, and I tell you to ignore masks, and I rip mine off as I vanquish the virus because I am a leader. Fear not, COVID. What a bunch of bull.
No, he's just giving it to you straight. That's why. Because the Cuomos, they just get... You know what? What do you think? I asked this question this morning. What do you think the the seating arrangement at the dinner table is going to be like at the Cuomo household for Christmas. Where is Chris and Andrew going to be sitting? Are they going to have their own side table again? Like it's the children's table? Well, that's going to be a weird Christmas. Boy, oh boy. Hasn't been a good year for the Cuomos. You know what they should do? Not only change the name of the Mario Cuomo Bridge back to the Tappan Zee, they should close off the bridge. They should get everybody off the bridge, and they should blow the fucking thing up. And just say, you know what? This was such a mistake. We're going to blow it up and start from scratch. And as penance, we're just going to disrupt traffic for a few months or a year. That's what they should do.
Hey, watch your mouth, sir. I know it's a free-for-all over there at CNN, but I run a family-friendly show over here. Like all CNN employees, he regularly endorsed Black Lives Matter violence and Marxist terrorism.
Please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And he also complained about President Trump raising the alarm about the growing anti-white hate crimes that the white farmers in South Africa were experiencing, being viciously attacked and murdered by, well, you know.
Mike Pompeo going back to North Korea again because we're trying to denuclearize.
Is he going there before or after he goes to South Africa to help out those white farmers?
No,
that the president mistakenly told people are being hunted down and killed and having their land stolen.
There's nothing mistaken about that. There is nothing mistaken about that. There is a virtual slow-boiled genocide that's been going on in South Africa. It's not necessarily a mirror image to what happened in Zimbabwe, but that is absolutely for real. Absolutely for real. But only someone who lives a cushy life on Long Island and believes that he could do no wrong, like Chris Cuomo, can go there and speak so flippantly about something that is very, very serious, a situation that they're trying to bring to the United States. If I should be so bold, but it doesn't take boldness to even conclude that. It's just what's happening.
Smart thing, because I think pulling out.
You don't want to talk about that? The South Africa tweet last night?
I want to talk about.
The media in America pretends that these kinds of things don't exist, and anybody who cares about this issue is branded a racist. But surprisingly, one story did slip through the editorial cracks over at Newsweek. A white farmer is killed every 5 days in South Africa, and authorities do nothing about it.
It's not just the white farmers. It's all of their black friends, all of their allies, people who did not sign up for the Marxist revolution that, of course, is all being done with the price to be paid is blood, like it happened in Rhodesia. And once they chased all the white farmers out of Zimbabwe, of course, everybody started starving. So there's that. But this is just what's going on here. There's nothing lost by having Chris Cuomo on the air. Nothing gained either, because there's just another Hydra that is, or another head of the Hydra that's going to fill his place. It's probably going to be Jake Tapper or something sliding into prime time. But who knows? Maybe he'll start up a podcast with Brian Williams. I don't know, but that's just where we are.